If they turn out hard the whole way, they probably have a little Loctite on. And yeah, I would invest in the socket tips too. This is a $10 set from Sears, not Craftsman, but some other brand they had there. And they've been alright. I've been using them for a couple of years now. I haven't broken one. For some reason, air power and hex head sockets are a terrible combination. I don't even hardly do it unless it's already stuck, basically. They nearly instantly strip. And it seems a lot of the hex head fasteners are Loctited. So you can always melt that Loctite with a torch. Just got to get it warm. You don't got to burn it out of there. Warm up the whole area with a torch and it'll come out. Same with those stator screws. You might have to use a little micro torch to soften that stuff up. It really works good. I'm just going to put the screws back in there, because I don't want to lose the little bits and pieces. Now, I'm showing you where the little bits and pieces are so you won't lose them. And hopefully avoiding any motor damage, like that reverse nut and a few different things. Now I knew about that one because I read the manual before I tore my first one down, but I could see how that'd be easy to miss. You stick an impact on there and zip, and guess what? You broke something. And there's that little finger there. That's the little finger on the end of the exhaust shell. Reverse nut on this end, little finger on that end. Handle with kids' gloves. That's about a $50, $60 part there, and that's used. And that's the inner clutch cover, which in this case is probably garbage because of the broken place where the clutch cable would be held. And all we have left is the cylinder head. And I'll be right back. I don't actually have a fridge, it's a freezer. And my beer's gonna ice. I got a couple more that will be frozen if I don't set them out now. Now is when you want to have the gloves on. You want to double check your gloves, make sure you haven't ripped any fingertips, because I'll tell you, the spooge in here, it'll take weeks, literally weeks, if your motor is really bad, to wear off your fingers. It'll get down to little nicks and cuts, and yeah, it's bad stuff. It really is. And I'm sure it's probably not very good for you. Now see, wasn't that a good idea, getting all the plugs loose? Well, it was easy to use the motor to hold it steady. There's going to be an 8mm down here. And this one's going to have a little check ball under it and a spring. And a brass washer, so if you turn it upside down, nothing should fall out here. There's the brass washer. The spring should be up inside the bolt. It's a hollow bolt. And it is. There should be a little check ball in there. And there is. Don't lose a little check ball. It's probably $8 from Kawasaki, knowing their prices. They sure don't treat you as fair as Sparking Dog now, do they? Now if you lift up on your exhaust valves, you can pull the sleeves right off. And I'm going to keep these separate for left and right. So you got to remember, if you got the exhaust port towards you, work on the Kips valves. It's going to be backwards. Start with that. Now you got some play in your exhaust valves. There's going to be a nut over here with a smiley gear, we call it, because it looks like a little smiley face. And I try not to use air power on the little smiley gear. If you're pulling your exhaust shaft out, you're going to have to pull the smiley gear. And there it is. See, it looks like a little smiley face. I don't know if you can see the two little eyes. It's got two little holes in it. Isn't that cute? Anyway. Before you got the bolt loose that holds the main valve puller. Well, this is this stuff. This top end isn't bad at all. This little chamber in here, I call this the chamber of gastiness. Here's your exhaust shaft. That wasn't that hard to come out. Pretty basic. But yeah, this truly is some horrible stuff to get on your hands. And these are Harbor Freight gloves. I just can't say enough about them. It's $6 or $8 for a box of 100. When I get done, I can go eat dinner without washing my hands. Not that I'm not going to wash my hands. And there's one of the shafts sliding out since we were lifting up on the valve. This shaft is going to have a little head on it. It looks like a slotted screwdriver will fit right in it, just right. Maybe not this one. This one might be a little bit big, but it looks like a screw head. It actually does fit. And the first one of these I did, I was like, what the heck? I got a long screwdriver, and I was, of course, didn't read the manual, even though I had it. I ended up breaking the tip off my screwdriver. I didn't hurt the rod at all, but if you lift up on the valves as you pull the rod, and there's that valve. And this rod's already out, so there's the other exhaust valve. But yeah, these rods, you shouldn't need any tools to get the rods out unless they're really carboned up, in which case you're going to need a little screwdriver. Yeah, probably a screwdriver. I probably wouldn't use a pick because it's a good way to stab yourself. The shaft came right out. So all that's left in this one is the main exhaust valve. We'll take the little yoke off. And they might be hard to see up in there, but they might be hard to see on your motor if you got a lot of spooge in the chamber of gastiness here. But they are 8mm heads, and they gotta come out. And they're also gonna have some little washers on them. And this is a good area to take your time and mark stuff where it goes, etc. Because it might be a few days before you put it back together with the family duties and who knows what that life throws at you. You never know. A little brass, maybe it's not brass, a little piece that holds the yoke onto the arm of the main exhaust valve. Now these can be a little bit tricky. You can't straight pull. It's going to be two pieces that are shaped like kind of like shoe horns, and if you pull that main valve, it's going to wedge the other one. If you pull this shaft straight out, it's going to wedge the other one, so you can't pull it straight out. You kind of got to get the whole thing sliding by getting your fingers down inside the cylinder, wiggling stuff around. And I'll tell you, if your motor hasn't been apart for a long time, it ain't going to be much fun, because there's going to be a big carbon buildup on your main valve. That's going to be rubbing the passage, and they can be quite stubborn. Well, there's one of the little washers that I just warned you about, and there's the other one. Wiggling it back and forth. There's not too much carbon on this one, so it's definitely coming right out. It's almost there. And there's the main exhaust valve. And there's where the carbon builds up, and if it builds up too heavy, it's gonna deal you a fit. I'll just be patient. If you get in there with screwdrivers and pry, you're gonna end up banging up one of the mating surfaces. And that cylinder has a few little scratches in it. It's not the shiniest and newest, but it's not terrible. And there's the bare cylinder. That's going to go right into the solvent tank. You want to clean that up pretty good. The chamber of gastiness there. If you got that stuff on your hands, your wife's gonna hate you when you go in the bathroom and wash up. That stuff's really bad. So buy the gloves. I'm sure you don't have to buy a pack of 100. I'm sure you can probably get a pack of 10 at the dollar store. Definitely worth using. And that's pretty much it. Now if I want to, I can go eat dinner. My hands are clean. The KDX motor is torn apart. There's nothing to be too scared of in there. Take your time, mark stuff out, reference the video. If you're a cash customer, hey, I'll give you some advice. I'm not a builder, but I've had a few apart. So there you have it. And I'd just like to dedicate this video to my buddy Vince, and for all of you that haven't had the pleasure, Vince is deceased. He was the founder of KDXWriter.net, so you guys go there and check it out. And I'm Sparking Dog there as well, and maybe I'll see you out on the trails. Maybe I won't. Anyway, you have a good day. Thanks for checking me out. Take care.